Hello, fellow A New Earth students. We're all reading and enjoying, I'm sure, the class, Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. This is a short video on how to release the fear, the energy of fear that is created by the ego. I'm going to read a couple of sections of the book, A New Earth, starting on page 54, gives a description of the ego. Ego is a conglomeration of recurring thought forms and conditioned mental emotional patterns that are invested with the sense of I, a sense of self. Ego arises when your sense of beingness, of I am, which is formless consciousness, gets mixed up with form. This is the meaning of identification. This is forgetfulness of being, the primary error, the illusion of absolute separateness that turns reality into a nightmare. Page 80. The underlying emotion that governs all activity of the ego is fear. The fear of being nobody, the fear of non-existence, the fear of death. All its activities are ultimately designed to eliminate this fear. But the most the ego can ever do is to cover up temporarily with an intimate relationship, a new possession, or winning this or that. Illusions will never satisfy you. Only the truth of who you are, if realized, will set you free. Why fear? Because ego arises by identification with form, and deep down it knows that no forms are permanent. They are all fleeting. So there is always a sense of insecurity around the ego, even if on the outside it appears confident. Page 12. Fear, greed, and the desire for power are all the psychologically motivating forces not only behind warfare and violence between nations, tribes, religions, and ideologies, but also the cause of the incessant conflict in personal relationships. They bring about the distortion in our perception of other people and yourself. Through them, you misinterpret every situation, leading to misguided action designed to rid you of fear and satisfy your need for more, a bottomless hole that can never be filled. It is important to realize, however, that fear, greed, and the desire for power are not the dysfunction that we are speaking of, but they are themselves created by the dysfunction, which is the deep-seated collective delusion that lies within the mind of each human being. A number of spiritual teachings tell us to let go of fear and desire, but these spiritual practices are usually unsuccessful. They haven't gone to the root of the dysfunction. Fear, greed, and desire for power are not the ultimate causal factors. Trying to become a good and better human being sounds like a commendable and high-minded thing to do. Yet, it is an endeavor you cannot ultimately succeed in unless there is a shift in consciousness. This is because it is still part of the same dysfunction, a more subtle and rarefied form of self-enhancement, of desire for more, and strengthening of one's concept of identity, one's self-image. You do not become good by trying to be good, but by finding the goodness that is already within you, allowing that goodness to emerge. But it can only emerge if something fundamentally changes in your state of consciousness. The history of communism, originally inspired by noble ideas, clearly illustrates what happens when people attempt to change external reality, create a new earth, without any prior change in their inner reality, their state of consciousness. They make plans without taking into account the blueprint for dysfunction in every human being carries within him, the ego. An acronym for the ego is edging God out. E-G-O. As Eckhart Tolle writes in his book, fear is created by the ego. And unless there's a change of consciousness, a change of energy, there will not be any change in the outside world. I'm going to demonstrate to you a very simple and effective process that can allow you to start releasing the energy of fear created by the ego. Some of the fears that mankind is being confronted with is the fear of loss of jobs, fear of loss of your youth, the fear of loss of your mind, Alzheimer's, the fear of loss of your health, diabetes, and other kinds of diseases. The economic fears, the fear of losing your job, the fear of losing a loved one, and the most powerful fear, the fear of the loss of life, the fear of death. These are all energies held in the mind and in the consciousness. We're going to use a technique called positive points. Located in the midpoint of your eyebrows, the center of your skull, are called 2 points called parietal eminences. They are the neurovascular reflex points. You feel them, they should just be little bumps, little rises in your skull, right in the center of your skull. When you touch them and kind of spread your hand, make the skin taut between them, you feel a change of energy. You may feel just a little shift in your energy. As you hold them, and think about fear or the stressor in your mind, you should feel a change of energy, a calmness, a peace that comes over you. You think about the economic situation, the high price of gas, various other kinds of fears that we become aware of, conscious of through our day-to-day life. As you take time to release and use the positive points, you should feel a calming effect, a releasing of the stress and the energy of fear created by this ego that wants to have more and more and be better than other people. All the things that we're learning in the class on Oprah's teleclass. Just take time, close your eyes, take some deep breaths. You can hold these points as long as you want to. The more you do it, the easier and the calmer you will become, and you will see less and less fearfulness, stress to your energy pattern. That's it. Very simple process. Please leave comments on this video, subscribe to my channel, and forward this video to your friends and other students of A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle being presented to the world by Oprah Winfrey. Thank you very much.